for joining. We have an unusual opportunity. We've been handed a service through disciplic succession from Srila Prabhupada in something very specific, and that is how to benefit others by distributing transcendental literature. The written word is an abstraction of speech, and therefore, in our sampradaya, the written word is considered to be extremely important. As humans, and especially nowadays, many people can read and write. And when they receive literature, especially those who are a little bit eager to understand the purpose of life, it immediately is effective in their lives. We find people very disoriented these days. They're not clear about the purpose of life, nor do they have an idea who they are. And this is not unusual. Even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have examples of Subhuti Roy and Tapana Mishra, who are elevated personalities, and they forgot the purpose of life until Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu oriented them and just told them what it was they should do. And most people are wandering around the world without any understanding of the goal of life or who they are. They are one paragraph away, one verse away from getting reoriented. And that's our job. And as we do it person by person, and we expand our movement of distributing transcendental literature in larger and larger quantities, we'll have effects on individuals and then on communities, groups of people, and on the world. So we begin today by offering our humble obeisances to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who saw all this, who advocated for it consistently. There's never a time in his entire campaign that Srila Prabhupada wasn't engaged in producing literature and advocating that we distribute it. And we offer our respectful obeisances to all the assembled devotees who are the representatives of the Sampradaya. All of you are engaged in this mission to distinguish reality from illusion for the welfare of all. That's the highest service anyone can do, is outreach, and especially carrying on the tradition of distributing transcendental literature. Books are something that can't be denied. If you've ever noticed, if someone hands you a book, you can't let go of it. I mean, it's not so easy. And generally, you take it home, you put it down, and it can sit and wait. Books are very patient. They can wait for 6 months, a year, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years before someone hears them whispering, I'm over here, please come look at me. Books can penetrate. We can't go in someone's house necessarily who's not oriented towards Krishna consciousness and have a Harinam Kirtan, but the book can go in. Books can go in libraries, they'll wait there. They can go in hospitals, they can go in people's trucks, offices, homes, and they're there waiting. Often we've compared them to a little time bomb, transcendental bomb ready to go off. It's a worthy cause. I could argue it's the most worthy cause. Prabhupada put it as the seventh purpose of ISKCON, by which all the six purposes would be fulfilled. If you reread that, you'll see that he put the book distribution as the tip of the spear, the way we'd actually be able to carry out all the purposes of ISKCON through transcendental literature distribution. So we're in the right place at the right time. And we have really good momentum around the world by working together. In previous years, decades, we've all been engaged in book distribution. There's been more of a sense of individual competition, which is always there and which is very important. It's natural, in fact. However, moving the needle a little closer to cooperation, so that we're actually competing against ourselves. And that is competing against our desire to, or I should say, we're working together towards bigger and bigger goals and looking to see how we can get marginal advantages every time we do a new campaign. And that's why we're here today. First thing is to remind ourselves of why we're doing this, because at every second, there are other causes that are vying for our attention. And it doesn't take more than 5 minutes to be caught in what's called mission drift. I can be distracted from the ultimate goal of life. I can be distracted from, for instance, chanting Hare Krishna by myriad other apparently attractive opportunities. And similarly, as a movement, and we are a movement, we're meant to fulfill a mission, which is to spread Krishna consciousness to every town and village. It's easy to get distracted, and there are many opportunities, and many of them are first-rate opportunities. But Prabhupada held book distribution in a high position, as I've just mentioned. So today we're going to hear from devotees from around the world, because this is a think tank. It's also a place where we gather to reaffirm that we're going towards a certain goal. That's what makes life exciting. If we don't have something that we're working towards, then any kind of activity is fine. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So we have a specific road. This year, we'll announce our goals that we're working on together. Everyone can take a piece of that and try to increase a little bit. Increases means we have to think about workarounds, because there's always some kind of obstacle, and that's a good thing. It's not that we want them, but they're naturally there. But what we want is a mood of working around obstacles so that we can get turnarounds and learn how to expand our capabilities and our capacities. So today we have a few presenters. One, Keshava Maharaj, who's on the streets in London right now, will beam in from the street. He's got about 50 devotees with him. They're on the streets of London as we speak. So we'll be talking to him live and seeing how he's doing, what advice he has, and the energy that they're generating from their Sankirtan practices. We also have a presentation about how to use Gita Jayanti month, which is what we're calling it. It's not just one day, it's a whole month, to fundraise. There are people with money and they don't know what to do with it. And it's actually an annoyance to have money and not know what to do with it. Not more than an annoyance, it's actually a distraction in life. So there's lots of people have stacks and stacks of money sitting, and it's really bothering them. And they're not sure exactly, should I give to this or that? So when we give a pointed presentation and invite people to give money and show them how it's going directly into distributing transcendental literature, this is a great yajna opportunity. It's just like you create a yajna stali and put a fire, and then people like to throw grains in it. They're putting their offering right into the mouth of the Supreme Lord. So we do the same thing. A couple devotees will show one, how to set up a very effective fundraising campaign for book distribution. And one of the other devotees will show how to make a pipeline so that every time someone donates for a book, it gets distributed immediately. And that's also an important aspect of it. So, Shamahini, shall we show some slides now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Would anybody like to see some slides? Slideshow.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
That's
Please
fun.
accept my
Slideshows are
humble
fun. Okay, good. Here we go. This is our branding for this year, the Live to Give campaign 2022. The duration of the campaign, it started on September 11th, which, does that date sound familiar to anybody? It's the date after, the day after Bhadra Purnima finished. So we have this end of the year opportunity from September 11th to January 7th, when all the scores have to be submitted so we can count them all. It has to stop at some time. And any information that you need or want is available. Whatever we're talking about here, we keep a catalog of at prabhupadmarathon.com. You can go there and download valuable resources that you can use to expand your campaign. It's the best way to actually expand is to find out who's doing something that works and then just emulate them. Everyone has their own genius, but when it becomes obvious that someone's found something that works, best just take it and use it immediately. There will be no one will accuse you of plagiarism. It's completely understood that we're working together. We take the best practices and we share them. We're on the rise. Our distribution of Bhagavad Gita is increasing on the global scale. And that's what we really want to look at, is how we're doing globally, working together. 2.8 million last year. So these numbers are a base from which we can expand. There are other organizations, for instance, the Gideon's Bible organization. They do in the tens of millions, actually hundreds of millions during a year. We should be doing the same thing with the Bhagavad Gita. Imagine if we weren't just doing 2.8, but we're doing 200 million Bhagavad Gitas. That's more our speed. So to get to speed, we have to start from where we are, and this is where we are now. We can use our intelligence to increase every year, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will provide the resources if we just are there as instruments. Here's what it looked like last year. You can look from a satellite from outer space and look down. What's happening on Earth right now? Well, 250 communities of Vaishnavas engaged in the Live to Give campaign and distributed Bhagavad Gitas. They organized themselves as best they could. That included 55 countries on the surface of the globe in which there was some activity that can be measured. And you can see below North America, Latin America, Africa, Europe, Asia, India, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji. Be happy to report that Antarctica will also be on the map very soon. So last year we did 2,805,444 Bhagavad Gitas around the globe. Keep in mind there are 8 billion people on the planet right now. So we're trying to move those numbers up a little more. There are a lot more countries also. So here's our goal for this year. It's 3 million Bhagavad Gitas. So you can keep that in mind. Every individual community can think about how to move the goal up a little bit, because when you have something to reach for, then you have to think about it. How can we get an advantage over last year? Never accept the status quo. Things always change. Get diversity and try to develop more capacity by brainstorming with your leaders and finding ways in which you can make little improvements or big ones. But everything counts. When you inch up towards a goal, you're forced to think, how can we do this better than we did last year? That helps our communities to grow as well. We're going through the individual continents, the pledges that we've received so far. There are more coming in as we speak, right, Shamahini?
Yes, Prabhu.
So you see up on the right-hand side, 4,416. Last year, they distributed 18,559. So obviously, there's a disparity there. We're still waiting to hear from many of the centers there. But keep in mind that nothing happens until you make a pledge. Until you make a pledge and write it down and commit to it, Lord Chaitanya doesn't give the energy or the resources. There's nothing for him to give to. So let's all make pledges and see what we can do to fulfill them. That's where the energy comes in. That's where the excitement is in our mission. Take a risk, write it down. Here's New Zealand, pledges at 10,000. Last year, they distributed 10,118. We were with New Zealand and Australia last night, Oceania, and they're very engaged and enlivened. This next one, Fiji, it's really a success story. They started with just a few books here and there, but under expert leadership, gradually these places, some of them not very populated, are making incremental increases. And pledges this year at 1,030 relative to the size of the country per capita. They're making really good increases. Far East, we're still waiting for many of the places to check in. Last year we had 90,000. This year pledges are at a trickle so far, but the ones that have checked in, like last night from Thailand, devotees are very much engaged, Taiwan, and we're waiting for others to send their numbers. Everyone send your numbers in, get them as soon as possible. That's where the energy occurs, when you discuss it with the other members of your team and decide on a number. Once you do that, Lord Chaitanya will move heaven and earth. I can't emphasize this enough. Your pledge is your wedge. That's what opens up the sky and invites in the energy from the spiritual world. It's a tapasya. Africa, we're going to have Tirumala, Devi Dasi, one of the great leaders from the African continent today. She'll give a few words about what's happening in Africa. The pledges are at 15,600. They're very dedicated on the African continent, and there's a huge opportunity for expansion. Europe, pledges are at 56,000 right now. You can see the individual scores there. Europe needs it. India has pledged 2,700,000 Bhagavad Gitas, and they're very confident about it. They're highly organized and very dedicated to the cause. Right now, there's devotees going out in all the 4 regions of India, door to door by bus, congregations being engaged, and so forth. Here's North America. Last year, 255,000 were distributed so far. We've received pledges of 148,000. A lot more we need from North America. South America, go ahead. Pledges are incoming. To all the devotees in Africa, work with me, people. Let's go. Let's see all that, those regions light up with pledges. Next is all of us. We're back. And what's the report on Keshava Maharaj from downtown London?
Prabhu, we're waiting for Maharaj to connect. In the meantime, perhaps we can hear from the leaders who are on the call.
Yes, let's do that. Okay. Why don't you send me the list of leaders who are ready?
Sure, Prabhu. Tirumala can go first, and then...
Okay. We have Tirumala Devi Dasi, a constant on the worldwide global team. That's redundant. and she's going to give a report from Africa. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So in Africa, our goal is 15,600 at the moment. We're still going to have a leaders session where we have some discussion on how we're going to strategize to achieve this. But yesterday we actually held the annual BBT Africa conference, where we had a lot of discussion already in terms of it was the focus of the conference was on book distribution, and it was called Double It. So there was a lot of discussion on plans for future book distribution. There was a lot of inspiration in terms of what's been done so far, in terms of book distribution, different ways of distributing books. And so in terms of this particular campaign, as I mentioned, we are going to have a specific, a more focused planning session, but each of the regions within Africa have already started, working on their particular campaigns in their areas. So there's a lot of traction, but I don't have any scores as yet to update you with.
Okay, excellent. This is the way it works. Really, there's think globally, work locally. And by continent, it's important to have a continental goal. And then by region, bring them all together. And as Tirumala Devi Dasa is saying, it takes communication, organization, and once the goals are fixed for the continent, then the individual areas can commit also. And this is how we get increases, is being very clear on what we're shooting for. Okay. And now we have Yadurani, Devi Dasi, and Benelux, who's going to check in and tell us how they're making progress there. Please go ahead, Yadurani.
Yeah, thank you. Obeisances, Srila Prabhupada. So we kind of started to organize and focus more locally, and so we set the number to 4,000 in the Benelux. I don't know why it was written more, but maybe Krishna wants us to do more. I hope so. That's going to be the result. But so we have the Sankirtan party, which was organized by Gopinath. I mean, they just moved. They're going to move today at 5 o'clock. They got the van together, a new van, and then they went out with a car loaded with sponsored books. And they're going to stay for 1 month and traveling Sankirtan. This was a wonderful thing to see. And they have so that they're going to stay in one place and they're going to visit different cities. That's the plan. And locally in Radhadesh, we set a certain table, which is especially for this project of sponsored books. So we have like a nice stand with books which are the Bhagavad Gita's, different languages, and then a certain paper, to say, if you want to sponsor that, what you can do, and different cards, like we made some bookmarks, from the logo, and counting bits. Also that, whoever is participating in the book distribution, we gave them also a counting bit with the logo of Live to Give together going along with that. And so in general, we're kind of organizing ourselves. We got also some, what we wanted to do all the time, to use the media, social media for distributing the book. So then it becomes more clear how to do it, because it was not really, it was kind of complicated, for some people. So we have a lot of ideas and it's flowing, and then there's a lot of sense of cooperation, and it is very positive. So then we have a lot of people kind of helping and working together, and this is nice. So it sounds good. Thank you so much for engaging us in this service.
Excellent report, Yadurani. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Especially noticed the mention of cooperation, Again, this meeting is to bring our focus to the ways that we're all working together to become aware of the fact that this is a movement, that we are interconnected. We do have a universal goal. Now, for a little zest in our meeting today, we have a live stream to the streets of London. We have the intrepid Keshava Maharaj, who's wanders the world, spreading Krishna consciousness, speaking wise words, enlivening all of us by his example. Can we get that? Can we get Maharaj right here, live? Shamahini? There. SB Keshav Maharaj, you'll see at the top of the screen.
We're just
Please.
getting the technical sorted. Just give, hopefully.
Okay. This looks like an album cover right now. We can see the gray skies of London.
Hare Krishna.
Haribo.
Our obeisances to Vaisesika Prabhu and all the devotees. I hope you can hear us okay. Can you hear us okay?
It's perfect, Maharaj. It's perfect. Go ahead.
Is it better like this or like this?
First way.
First way, like this.
Yep, that's perfect.
Okay, I'm just before I begin, I guess first of all, we'd like to offer our humble obeisances and deepest gratitude to you, Vaisesika Prabhu. You are really our inspiration, our guiding light. And we remember you every time we go out on book distribution. And it's an honor to be with all of you today. And all the wonderful devotees on the call. We're seeing so many stalwart Sankirtan soldiers, inspirational figures. So I'm just gonna do a quick pan. We are actually on the streets in the suburban areas of the manor. And today we're out with, I don't know, maybe something like 30 devotees. Is it something like that? 40. About 40. And I'm just gonna show you all the devotees. You can give everyone give everyone a wave.
Someone's still joining.
These are all the smiling faces, all the amazing devotees that have come out today. It's a little cold at the moment. It was just raining, but the moment we got out of the car, it just stopped raining. It's like there's a dry patch over where the Sankirtan devotees have gone out. So yeah, we're getting ready for the marathon. And last few days, we've been having so many seminars and taking devotees out on a warm-up. Here in the UK, the marathon will begin on the 1st of December, and then the devotees will go out all the way to the 24th. And yeah, we've just been reflecting. Yesterday, we had a session with the devotees, and we were reflecting on how Sankirtan is Srila Prabhupada's heart. And we had a whole discussion around that, and how when the books are going out and when the devotees are going out, then the heartbeat of ISKCON is really beating healthily. And then later on, we were also discussing yesterday how Sankirtan is actually the school of life. And we were talking about how there's so many things that you don't learn at school, but out on the street, it's really an educational experience. We really learn so many things about Krishna consciousness just by going out. So yeah, we're really happy to be with everyone. I'm gonna just hand over to Divyanam Prabhu, who's our leader here in the UK and in the manor. And he is actually, oh look, you can see here in the distance, we have another army of Sankirtan devotees coming. You can see them. I don't know if you can see them in the distance, but we have another 30 devotees coming out. So we're really gonna blitz this area, transcendental blitz. I'm just gonna hand over to Divyanam Prabhu, who'll tell you a little bit more about some of the goals we have at the manor this year.
Hare Krishna Maharaj and Hare Krishna everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. very happy to see all the effulgent Sankirtan faces. And we are here now in very close to Bhaktivedanta Manor. So the army is just closing in, another set of devotees. I wanted to just show some another faces who are live. There are about 30 devotees walking to us, and about 25 here right now. So
Ravi, you can show the books.
This is our Sapta Rishi pack. You can see, which we're gonna give it out to the devotees, or well, the ones who are about to become devotees. Let's put it that way. So we have these beautiful packs where is the Bhagavad Gita, Science of Self-Realization, Chant and Be Happy, Ishopanishad, In Essence, Perfect Question, Perfect Answers. And we also have some of the loose books with us. And the idea is to really try and give out these Saptarishis as much as we can on door to door. So our goal here at Bhaktivedanta Manor this year is that we want to, it's called Sangha, Seva and Sadhana. These are our theme. And for Sangha, we are asking 300 devotees to get involved in this marathon, with each of them going out and offering at least 16 hours of loving service to Srila Prabhupada during this month of marathon. And the sadhana part is we want all those 300 devotees to come together and chant a chapter of Bhagavad Gita every night online at 8 o'clock when we close and go back to our homes. So everybody can tune in. We will read something from other books like Our Family Business. And yeah, just feel inspired and inspire others to go out and distribute books. So for us, our door-to-door party is being led by Keshava Gokulanand Prabhu, who's here. So Prabhu is just saying Hare Krishna. We have children's party who's led by Vindarika Ramya, who's here. All the children are here. All these wonderful children. Many of them are coming out for the first time on book distribution. All these devotees are here. So we're absolutely thrilled. Maharaj, would you like to say anything else? Thank you. I'll hand it over.
Maybe we'll just go around and we'll just ask some of the devotees to say in one line or in one comment why they're inspired to go out, why book distribution is like the best thing you can be doing with your life. So yeah, I'm just going to go around. I'm going to pick on different devotees and they're going to share with us what inspires them about book distribution.
Jai! So this is a great opportunity to share Christian consciousness with everybody. So we're just out in this little neighborhood with these amazing houses. And what's a one-liner? I'm supposed to say a one-liner.
No, just what inspires you to be out here today.
I think Srila Prabhupada, like, and so many amazing devotees telling all these stories. They told us a lot about their experience. So.
Thank you so much. Yes, Srila Prabhupada.
It's fun.
You can say it.
Say louder.
It's fun.
It's fun. That's Divyanam Prabhu's daughter. Anyone else want to share with us?
Hare Krishna Maharaj and the devotees. I'm only 75 years old, so I'm sure everybody else is younger than me, so they can always come out. So please bless us that we can distribute more, Maharaj. Thank you.
You can see we have like everyone from like the kids to the older generation. It's like a whole army going on here. Someone else?
Hare Krishna.
What inspires you?
I was collected the book couple of years ago. I would like to find like give back, and they can open their spiritual eyes, like spiritual consciousness. They would like to. We never know who will be involved. What Keshava Maharaja said before. Yeah, we may help someone. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. This was actually Kiran, and this is some of the most inspiring things. A devotee or someone gets a book, becomes a devotee, and then goes out on their first time on Sankirtan. So it's actually Kiran's first time, and he got distributed a book, and this is the mature fruit. Because sometimes people do wonder, like, what's the effect of it all? And here in Kiran, right before us, we see that the books make devotees.
He
because
came in
it's
touch with the devotees just last August.
Okay.
Now he's on.
Yeah, you can say your story quickly.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna devotees. So the Prabhuji Kiran, he came in touch with the devotees, and he came to the temple last August, and he was on Janmashtami day, and then he was so touched by the devotees and the spiritual atmosphere at the temple at the Bhaktivedanta Manor, and there he is. He's now out on the streets with distributing books. Thank you.
So yeah, it's amazing. We just had another car here. You can see. Give us a wave. Wave.
Give us a wave.
That's the another set of devotees that have come. So yeah, I think we might need to start moving because we're like 50 devotees on this residential street, and I think the police might start coming with like thermal cameras or something to find out what we're actually all doing here. So we're just about to split everyone up into pairs, and then they're going to do the doors, and we're probably going to do about a couple of hours. And the devotees are doing sets of 7 books, Sapta Rishis, and they're doing single books. And we're going to try, with all of your blessings, to contribute to 3 million Bhagavad Gitas. It's such a beautiful, beautiful goal and a beautiful vision. And we just thank you for letting us be part of it, being part of the best job in the world, giving Krishna consciousness in a mood of loving compassion and kindness, and just going out there, meeting the people. This is life. This is real life. Thank you so much.
Haribo.
Real honor.
Thank you, Maharaj. We could really feel the energy, and at least I could speak for myself. I wish I was there next to you. And we'll be praying for everyone's success out there on the door-to-door. Can't wait to hear how it goes.
We'll send a report back and let you know how it goes. All the best to all the devotees. It's so inspiring to see all of you.
Hare Krishna.
To Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Keshava Maharaj and all the devotees in London. And now we're swinging over to one of the great veterans of the Sankirtan movement. He was in San Francisco when it all began. Das Prabhu is in Italy now leading the troops. And he'll give a shout out from Italy just to give us an idea of how the devotees are thinking over there. You're muted.
Hare Krishna, my obeisances to everyone, especially to Vaisesika Prabhu, who's the real leader of World Sankirtan. It's inspiring me like anything. And I'll admit that last year we didn't get very involved. We kind of got on the mental platform that the Bhagavad Gitas were more expensive here in Italy, and we usually did the smaller books. But this year we're actually going to participate, and with great enthusiasm. Many devotees are all prepared. And Krishna arranged that this year that our Prabhupada Marathon here in Italy begins on the day of Gita Jayanti. Gita Jayanti, as we know, starts on the 3rd of December. So we'll be kicking it off, and it's a Saturday, but we'll make it also Sunday. And so all the temples will have a big push, big announcement. And we're going to be concentrating this year on giving cases of Bhagavad Gitas. There's 16, because our Bhagavad Gita is quite large. It's big. And there's 16 Bhagavad Gitas in each box, in each case. Box, I guess. And so we're making a big push for people to buy boxes of Bhagavad Gitas. And that's already, we just put a little announcement in our little tiny temple here in Bologna, and immediately we got seven people took cases of Bhagavad Gitas, and many more are waiting, and they make their pledge for the Bhagavad Gitas. We haven't gathered the full pledge for Italy, but it'll definitely be at least 4 or 5 times more than last year. I can guarantee that. And I don't want to give a number right now, but I know just our temple will be at least 4 or 5 times more than last year. So we have plans to increase quite a bit, and especially with this campaign of giving boxes, and people got right into it with enthusiasm. We take a box of Bhagavad Gitas for Christmas and distribute them, give them as presents. And it's started out very well, so we have great hopes to And in the next couple of days, I'll send in our pledge. I'm getting all the pledges from all the different temples, and in the next couple of days, we'll send it in. But we're quite worried. I don't know how France made a pledge that I don't know where. I mean, he's very ambitious. I think it put me in great difficulty because they pledged 6,000 Bhagavad Gitas, which is. But how can Italy not compete with France? We'll see realistically what we can do without making any false pledges. But
Nice. I see your strategy trade-off, but you're going to sneak up on them.
Right.
This is beautiful. What a nice report from Italy. And I'm so excited that there's some electricity from the competition in the air between Italy and France. Yeah, there's no way.
England's a little far away from us for now, at least for now, but France, Benelux, we used to always be way over that. France used to beat Italy back in 1980. But after that, Italy went way ahead of them for a long time. But now
Italy is a book distribution Sankirtan superpower. It's just coming back into its full glory right now.
Waking up gradually. Actually, we had a very wonderful thing. She's here with us today, Jai Gauranga Prabhu, and he's become a very essential part of our team. He's like a vice minister, he's the second minister of Sankirtan in Italy, and he's inspiring devotees all over. He told me that just, I think yesterday or last Saturday on Harinam, which is the first time in history in Italy, they did over 100 books just on the Harinam with devotees around the chanting party. We never did that before in Italy. So that's by his inspiration and example. He's going out with the devotees and training them in the Milano area, and then now in Genoa and Torino area. And he's taking care of that whole part of northwestern Italy, and they're already increasing exponentially. So we have.
Thank you very much, Tridas Prabhu. Thank you for your appearance here. And one of the.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry I didn't make it to the other Zoom calls, but I got the notice at the last moment, and on Sundays we had other programs we were already tied into. So, but
we're grateful whenever we see you, Prabhu.
Try to make it more often.
Thank you so much. The takeaway from there is training is important. If you have one devotee who can patiently train others, you can exponentially increase. Next, we're going over to Malini and Meenakshi. The presentation I promised you earlier about how to do a fundraising drive. She'll give a succinct presentation and pass it over to Meenakshi up in Toronto. Malini Devi Dasa is the co-Sankirtan leader at ISV, which is one of the highest producing communities in the world. Over to you, Malini.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances, all Shri Prabhupada, and my humble obeisances to all the devotees on the call. We want to present the fundraising strategy, especially during the December marathon. We distribute a lot of books, and we wanted to. Some of them we wanted to pre-sponsor them so that we could distribute freely. And here at ISV, we first set a goal. So there is a PowerPoint that we will show you right now, which has some steps that we could follow. First is we come up with a goal of how much Lakshmi we need to fund, to sponsor for all the books that we wanted to give in strategic places. And then what we do is we package or we do a pricing for each of these levels that we have. For example, we have levels of 5 or 6 levels that we have, and we package them with some simple gifts that we give as an intangible. For example, we have 1 year we did some kantimalas or some Narasimha kavachas that we got them. They're not very expensive, but they're intangible because they have been taken to many holy places in Vrindavan, dipped in many holy kundas. So you can do something small like that. Or you can also have some Didi Maha that you would like to give it to the devotees as a gift for sponsoring or participating in the fundraiser. You can take those and then you can package them nicely that you can give it out as a gift. We will show you some of them in a video that we will play. And then we make a video of our fundraiser campaign. And then we send it to, either we pre-send it on WhatsApp, social media, and other places, or next slide, we will see that we set a date on when this fundraiser can happen. So for some of the examples of these packages that we have is, we have something called Narsimha Kavacha, the level 1, where whoever sponsors for this level, which we sometimes price it as $500, or you can do it according to whatever is the need of the temple there. And this is the basic level, or this is the first level, which is all inclusive, which means we want most of the devotees in the congregation to go for this level, so everybody feels that they have participated in the fundraiser. And that is the first level, where whoever participates in that will get that Narsimha Kavacha as a gift, nicely packaged in a bag or in a small box. And then we have a second level, which has some extra special significance to it. One year we had a Gamsha of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is Grace Vaisesika Prabhu had, which Prabhu went around to different homes to give this one. And that's priced at a different level. Then we have 3 modes conquered, where we have Go Puja in Vrindavan on their name during the month of Kartik, or a Veda power, where we perform a yajna in Giri Govardhan area with their names offered in the yajna for participating in this. So we come up with these packages. You can come up with any packages like this with something intangible that you can give as a gift when they participate in the yajna. In the next slide, once we just make this fundraiser visible, which means that we announce ahead of time. In some temples, I heard that announcing ahead of time helps. And we do also here at ISV set a date on when that fundraiser is going to happen. And we announce it to some of those regular donors ahead of time. So usually we do this Gita fundraiser on the Gita Jayanti day, the day when we recite the entire Bhagavad Gita. Once somebody has heard the entire Bhagavad Gita, their heart becomes so soft that they naturally wanted to give something to help this campaign. So we said this year also we are going to do it on Gita Jayanti day. And as I mentioned, we announce it ahead of time to some of those devotees who are regular donors. So we already had some seed money in the fundraiser. So because if somebody see somebody else doing somebody else sponsoring, they get encouraged, and that will go on. And during the fundraiser, we first play the video of all the intangible gifts that they're going to get. And then once a fundraiser starts, here at ISV, we do a countdown. I know that countdown is illegal, but Vaisesika Prabhu does a countdown, and devotees really love to participate when the countdown happens. And then once they start giving the donations, we capture those donations on the screen like this on an Excel sheet. It's a simple Excel with a formula, let's say with level 1, which is $500, level 2, 1,008, level 3, 2,500. These are the levels that you can set. And the moment a devotee sponsors, their name goes here and the level, and automatically Lakshmi gets counted here. And we also have on the top corner here, we have a total, which tells that this is the amount of Lakshmi that we have raised so far. And we had a goal. So we see that how far we are or how close we are from the goal. So it inspires devotees to catch up to that goal. So this is the fundraiser that we do here at ISV. And as mentioned, there's a video that we play. And this video captures the intangibles and the inspiration that the devotees get to sponsor. Prabhu, if you can please play that video.
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He came here to spread Krishna consciousness to every town and village. And he made a prediction that his message would be sent all over the world. But how would that happen? It would require an empowered person, someone who had love of God in their heart. That person was Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Join the Srila Prabhupada Marathon 2019. Get transcendental, irreplaceable return gifts for your donations, like a Nrsimha Kavacha, Tulsi Ganga water touched to Lord Chaitanya's personal Gamsha, and a special blessing yajna at Govardhan Hill during Kartik for you and your family. Greetings from Sri Uddhava Kund. Sri Uddhava came to Vrindavan, sent by Krishna, to see the highest quality of devotional service. Today we've brought these kavachas to Sri Uddhava Kund. We're dipping them in the Kund here and making a special prayer that anyone who wears them and those who go out for book distribution to spread the holy names will be blessed by the dust of Vrindavan, just as Uddhava prayed for. Please let the dust from the lotus feet of the residents here fall upon my head. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The people of the world are really, really suffering. And the only help, the only panacea is book distribution. They have to get transcendental knowledge. We're here at Radhakund praying to Srimati Radharani. Please empower all the devotees around the world and give them compassion in their hearts to move them to go out to distribute Prabhupada's books. Please, let's do big. Thank you. Hare Krishna. When I took the Nrsimha Gavachas filled with dust from Vrindavan, Tulsi leaves, and Nrsimha mantras, the Brajari offered all of them as a necklace and put them around the neck of the Lord, who wore them for a full 30 minutes as we chanted his glories. This is Sri Govinda Kund. What a beautiful, serene atmosphere here. Everyone who comes here feels the impetus to surrender to Krishna, and that's the main purpose of life. Material world means durvibhavyam. Whatever you get is not satisfying and you have to work really hard for it. But spiritual life is easy. We're here to think about how to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. We have these kavachas that are filled with dust from Vrindavan. Now I'm putting it on this tree that only drinks water from Govinda Kund. We're praying for the mercy of Sri Govinda Kund and this Kalpavriksha tree here, that we can expand the Sankirtan movement all over the world. Hare Krishna. In this beautiful golden frame is a tiny thread from Lord Chaitanya's Gamsha. It was given to one of my godbrothers from a Gamsha that's been held at the Radharaman Mandir in Vrindavan, India for almost 500 years. A Gamsha that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to Gopal Bhatta Goswami. This has special spiritual potency. I'm going to be bringing this around with me to many places in the world to offer darshan and to enliven the devotees to expand the Sankirtan movement. Let's all pray to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for his mercy to expand the distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you for your generous donations. Every penny is going for spreading the Sankirtan movement all over the world through transcendental book distribution. May Lord Chaitanya bless you and yours. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Thank you so much. And SKP Prabhu, would you like to add something? Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisance to all Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. I think everything covered by Malini Mataji. I just want to add 2 points like which inspires me to donate. Like Vaisesika Prabhu always brings a testimonial, like in the when we do the fundraising. So testimonial can be anything, but mainly the people are inspired for the, like, especially recently when Prabhu did it. So he told a story about a prison where in Arizona, Vaisesika Prabhu went to a prison and then gave a full set of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and that person who read who was in the prison, he become like Krishna consciousness. So that story inspired, and so many in Berkeley Temple, they donated for the Bhagavad Gita cases and Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is very potent, and the testimonials are the very important when you show, and as the more you show, the more you sell. So like that, we can have the testimonial in person in the fundraising in the temple. So that inspires people to donate, and especially in general congregation. And when you bring this, it's a real stories. It's not a made up stories. It's happened. So the facts, it's a truth. So that is one thing. And also when we go door to door, and Vaisesika Prabhu told us to write their names. Like especially when we go, Malini Mataji, myself, indoors, we write, like let's say we meet a doctor in that street, and we write his name and say he donated $1,000, and I have the check with me, and I go to all the houses. Okay, he's the Dr. Padma, she donated, this is $1,000. Oh, okay, I donate 2,000. So it's just a mentality that they have this, and as a neighbors they donate, and it's all going for a good cause. So when we show that an example, so people really inspires and they donates. And thank you. That's all. I just want to add those 2 points. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Malini and SKP, the co-Sankirtan leaders from ISV. And now we're going to jump all the way up to Toronto, Canada within 2 seconds. The power of our Zoom meetings. We can go anywhere we want within a second. And we have Meenakshi Devi Dasi, who's leading up one of the most important branches of the distribution in Toronto, which is a prolific book distribution temple. And please tell us about the pipeline that you've developed there and how we can do it too.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to the Sankirtan devotees. Thank you so much for having me today. Not sure how I can follow up Malini Mataji's wonderful presentation, but we'll try. If I could do a screen share. Thank you. Okay, so I'm sure everybody knows what is Shastradhan, and as I said, Malini Mataji and SKP Prabhu have gone over how to do the fundraising for it. And of course, what are we fundraising for? We're trying to get these books into venues where people cannot come across Prabhupada's books or devotees very easily, especially those in vulnerable situations. They could be in nursing homes, prisons, etc. Again, it was already talked about as to getting the fundraising is the first part of it. Actually, even behind that is having your temple management and Sankirtan team on board with a Shastradhan program, and then getting the congregation on board, informing them about the program, getting sponsorships, and as SKP Prabhu said, providing feedback and testimonials so people know that this is working and where the books are going. So where can you place these books? Now you have all this Lakshmi, where can we place these books? Well, there's many, many, many different venues that you can place in. For example, prisons, correctional institutions, halfway houses, detention centers. Detention centers are places where they are temporarily held before they go to an actual prison. So all of these kind of places can have these books. And if you see here, not only Bhagavad Gitas, but Srimad Bhagavatams and many other titles as well. Hospitals as well, hospitals dealing with the chaplains. They also have multi-faith rooms and chapels, so books can be put there. Also, the chapels and chaplains provide these books for the patients and their families. So there are several ways to get into hospitals and healthcare centers. Libraries, actual libraries, here you'll see that they are actually microfiched with the labels on them so they can be borrowed by the public. And so this goes in the philosophy and spirituality departments. You deal with the collection management team and show them the books. And oftentimes they will take it, not only Bhagavatams, Bhagavad Gitas, Hidden Glory of India, Krishna book, etc. It does take some time to do, but it can be done. Courthouses. We've been doing a lot of courthouses. So, traditionally people think, oh, they've got to swear on a Bible. But what about now with all the multi-faith that's happening? You can certainly get Bhagavad Gitas into every courthouse. And as we all know, in North America, there's hundreds upon hundreds of courthouses. So the scope is huge. Little free libraries, going out into neighborhoods, driving down the streets, putting Bhagavad Gitas, SSRs, various titles, very easy to do. You don't really have to deal with anybody. You're just popping them in and then checking up on them twice a year, once a year. So a very soft way of doing it and getting some of the shy Sankirtan devotees to help out with. Hotels and motels, that's the bread and butter. I don't even have to talk about that. Their Motel Gita program is prolific in this regard, but this can be done anywhere in the world. Every center in the world can go and approach hotels and motels. And if they're hesitant to put it into the rooms, into the drawers, then ask them to please put them in the reception lobby area or in their reference section, so they can have people who are interested take these books and read them in the lobby or take them with them. Hospices and nursing homes, very important area as well, end of life, vulnerability, families asking, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? It's a very emotional time for these people. So again, this is a wonderful opportunity to get Bhagavad Gitas and small books like Beyond Birth and Death, Coming Back, etc. Airports, well, millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people are going through airports all the time. And they have prayer rooms, multi-faith rooms, chapels in every airport practically. And so this is a wonderful way to put especially soft Bhagavad Gitas there where people can not only read them, but take them with them on the airplane. Schools involve, these can be temple Sunday schools, these can be public schools, public school libraries, universities, professors, university multi-faith rooms. The scope there is also huge to be able to place books into learning institutions. The military, armed forces, the Navy, the boots on the ground. Again, these people are on the front line and seeing a lot of stuff. So here there are, again, spiritual care centers in each base, and you can talk to them and get our books there as well. Police divisions. Again, these people are on the front line and they're seeing a lot. Some of them themselves experience suicide or seen a lot of injury and death. So again, this is something where we can provide solace. And you can see here that not only have they taken Bhagavad Gitas, but they also have Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So how do you do this? I would say go for it. The first thing is plan. Figure out which institutions you're going to go for. Maybe don't go for all of these venues at once. Maybe first start with, nursing homes or with prisons or whatever, and then get a list of those in your area, find out where they are, and then go visit and call them. Look at the spiritual care departments, the chaplains, the administration, the management of those institutions, show them the books, explain them what these books are for. We're actually trying to support what they are doing. So you kind of do it as that we're providing this back-end support to the front-end hard work that they're doing to support their patients and their clients. So our books are there to help them provide their clients with hope, with solace, with answers. And they can see that we're not charging. These are not a sales call. We're trying to support them. And so they become very soft when they see that. In fact, we've had, even just recently, I was speaking to a few people, they want us to come in and actually do meditation sessions. Right? So again, it's a soft approach. When you go in and do meditation sessions, you're actually going to do some kirtan, some talk. We have one institution who asks us our incense because he started to do puja with the prisoners. So you can imagine the scope of how this can expand. And that comes down to relationships. Make sure that you're understanding who you're dealing with, build a relationship, follow up. Very important is follow up, and customize and curate the books that you're going to give to them. For example, you might have a very small nursing home that is not going to take 2 or 3 boxes of Bhagavad Gitas, but might take 6 Bhagavad Gitas, a couple of SSRs, a couple of other titles. So you have to curate and customize what is required in that institution. Because if you don't, then they're going to say, oh, no, we don't need this. We have a lot of it, et cetera, et cetera. We want to make sure that it's working and that when we follow up, we can replenish. So once you build a relationship, it's no longer a cold call, if you will. It is more of a replenishment, and they're very happy to hear. In fact, many of them say, oh, thank you for your diligence. Thank you for following up. Be professional at all times. As Vaisesika Prabhu says, always leave with a good impression. So if they don't want the books or there's some snafu, no problem, leave with a good impression. You can always come back in a few months and try again. And professionalism also relates to one person dealing with one institution. So you don't have, 4 or 5 devotees calling in with the same institution. It doesn't look nice. And it looks like we're being really naggy. So, so all those kind of things, having information as to how they can contact us. All of these little things come down to professionalism. And the last, of course, is teamwork. It is all one team of devotees. Somebody is going and visiting, somebody's calling, somebody's helping with packing, somebody with letters, somebody with getting books from the BBT, some helping with fundraising. So it's a team effort for all the devotees in the Sankirtan team, and of course the congregation to help. And you will see that when you're doing this, you are going to get wonderful testimonials, you're going to get wonderful feedback, and you're going to see yourself, your devotees are going to see yourself, that this is making an impact. And you can use those testimonies, that impact, to tell other devotees and the congregation members what is happening and how it is working, so that this helps on your next year's fundraising. Okay, and here you can see that this is actually an inmate, and as SKP Prabhu said, with the Arizona inmate as well, there are inmates, we get letters all the time, who are reading the Bhagavad Gita, reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, they're thanking us, they're asking for more books, they're offering their food, making it prashadam, they're actually chanting. We've sent CDs to one inmate as well, so he can listen to Kirtan every day, and they're actually in the chapels and chaplain area telling other inmates about Srila Prabhupada's book. So you actually have a mini Sankirtan devotee right in the institution. So what can be better than that? And it's Prabhupada's desire. So let's go for it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Well, there you have it. Very practical ways in which you can develop a new arm to your Sankirtan book distribution in your community. These are very practical. We'll put all this information and make it available so anyone can download it and use it. I'm sure either Malini, SKP, that is Sri Krishna Purushottam Prabhu, or Meenakshi Devi will be happy to consult with you if you want to get your program started. So please lean on us. And I guarantee you this program will dramatically increase your results just by having it in place. We're going to end in a moment. A couple extra reminders. One is, if you can sell one book, you can sell a stack. It's counterintuitive. However, it's easier to sell a bunch of books than it is to sell one at a time. Just think about that. It's easier to sell a stack than it is to sell one. The rule is always sell in bunches like bananas. Generally, people don't buy one banana, they buy a bunch. So package the books together. All you have to do is tie them up with a little ribbon, and people will take them as a great addition to their lives, to their libraries. You can just say a little something about each book. The next place where you're going to get really good traction is in inventory management. Take care of your inventory, count your inventory, make sure you get books on time. That's one of the biggest factors in determining how well you'll do in your book distribution campaign. If you have books on time and you have enough of them, you can distribute them profusely. Otherwise, when there's glitches due to mismanagement or forgetfulness of how many books you have, makes it very difficult. Finally, remember the 4 laws of book distribution. The first is your sadhana must be strong. You have to read every day. Read the Bhagavad Gita, something, or the Srimad Bhagavatam. Regulate your time in reading and chanting Hare Krishna. Encourage all the devotees to hear and chant together, and always keep the transcendental vibration going on the way to Sankirtan, while you're on Sankirtan, on the way back from Sankirtan. The second is get books. I just mentioned that with inventory. The third is the more you show, the more you sell. Just be an instrument, go out and show the books, and people will take them. Living entities are looking for Krishna. They just don't have an opportunity. We're providing the opportunity, so show the books. And finally, organize. And much of this meeting's been about that. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. We're an ever-increasing team for an ever-increasing service. And this is the way that we can stay very closely connected to Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara, with to speak of pleasing Lord Krishna, who says in the Bhagavad Gita that nothing's more dear to him, or no one's more dear to him than those who are dedicating their lives to giving the message of the Bhagavad Gita to others. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Panchatattva, Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Radha Govinda, Shri Radha Gopinath, Shri Lakshmi Nrsingadev, Jagannath Baladev, Subhadraji. If you so desire, please bless everyone who joined the call today and our international team, that we may be empowered to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books in ever-increasing capacity. Please also empower us with a taste for hearing and chanting, and compassion in our heart for all living entities. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Special thanks to our team members on the marketing team, headed by Shamohini and Anukul Seva. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. And everyone who agrees with this prayer in whole or in part, please unmute and say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
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 Panchakalpadusha, Krishna Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnava. Lord Premanande Haribo. Huge, big Haribo. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.